Welcome to the Brunch Club. This is where we raise a glass and champion female talent and leadership everywhere, and where sparkling is always encouraged. We toast to all of the amazing, diversely faceted women out there, filling your cup with inspiration and encouragement. Our guests are here to share their personal stories, experiences with careers, family, parenting, equality, mentorship, and advice. Welcome to the Brunch Club. Welcome to another episode of the Brunch Club. I'm Rachel Swoboda, and I'm here today with a very dear friend of mine, Patti Compton.
Hi.
I have been hoping to have Patti on this show since before COVID.
Yes. We've been friends a long time, and we, I admire Rachel so much, obviously, but
I pay her to say that.
we have this thing where we meet for lunch, sometimes with our friend Jackie, and we meet for lunch every quarter-ish about.
And we've been doing it for years.
And,
I don't know, a long time.
And it's motivating for all of us. Like, we motivate each other. Every time I leave that lunch, I feel like, okay, I'm ready to go back at it.
Yeah. Okay, and so we always go to the same place. I think I'm gonna give a plug for where we go to lunch because might as well. We always go to the Water Grill over near South Coast Plaza. Mm-hmm. And during COVID, we still went to lunch and nobody else was there. It was fabulous. And nobody was really working all that much. So we'd take these really long lunches.
Yeah.
But now it's a little tighter. Our schedules are back to normal.
Yeah.
So,
quite often we've been the only people in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And it's a big restaurant.
But I love having this tribe of ladies, and you are definitely in my near and dear inner circle of favorite entrepreneurial, hustling, badass friends. And
that is what we are.
You have done everything from run a bathing suit company to start nonprofits to write educational curriculum to public relations to radio broadcasting to I know I'm forgetting things, and your mom and your wife and you're all these amazing things. And we were chatting before the show, and I'm like, all right, well, what do I want to ask Patti about? Well, I probably want to ask you about what's new, because I guarantee there's something new.
Yes.
There's always something new.
There's always new projects. And I think maybe we'll save the new project to the end, though. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Because I have new projects, but
we'll go linear.
A little bit linear. So Rachel was saying, I call myself a little bit of a serial entrepreneur. I just have this entrepreneurial spirit. And so when I've been interested in things, I pursue them and actually take it to fruition and make them happen. And I was thinking on the way here what I was going to maybe say, because I know the audience is women who are interested in, entrepreneurial ideas or just what other women are out there doing. And I do have two children, two boys. They are both now semi-adults-ish. And but I think it's always been important for me to keep, even during the years when they were really little, to always be in touch with I don't know what to call it, what Deepak Chopra would call it, the spiritual, what does he call it? The idea of pure potentiality, your potential that's out there in the universe. Okay. And now I'm reading this book, or I've read it a bunch of times. It's by Elizabeth Gilbert, and it's called Big Magic. And it's sort of the same idea. It's staying in touch with your creativity, just always being, aware of it. And so for me, that means always having a project. Because if I have a project that I'm working on, then I am in touch with my creative spirit. I'm in touch with the universe. And when I put things into the universe brings them to me. But I have to be, open to that. So even when I had little kids, that's when I started my bathing suit line. When I literally had my babies, I decided I have to still be in the universe. Because prior to that, I had spent about 9 years in marketing up in LA. And so I left that career, and I knew we were going to move to Orange County and have a family. But I'm like, I can't not be having I just knew myself, and I have to have a project. Yeah. So I started this bathing suit line, but there was all kinds of funny things that happened where I'm having to, I took the kids to the sewing contractor, in their strollers, and I would be shipping bathing suits to magazines, Vogue magazine, but then I'd be like, oh no, I think this was the bed they peed on, whatever. I just throw it in, like you just have to keep going.
It's so humbling to have kids. It really is. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it really is.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, you and I have, both talk about trying to be a parent and having this career going. But I think it's so important that even if you're leaving your career, to have some sort of connection to what you find interesting, what you're curious about, what you feel, passionate about.
Maintaining your sense of self and staying interested and curious in the world and around you and what you're passionate about, instead of maybe just folding into the identity of mom or the identity of wife, but being able to still have your own interests and pursuits,
right,
which you've done an amazing job at. And I think a lot of women are going to hear this and learn from you that it can be done.
Yeah, it can definitely be done. I was worried, like, about what you were just talking, that I couldn't just fall into the mom thing. I had to have a project,
Yeah.
And so I do have serial projects, and sometimes I have multiple projects going on at one time. So curiously enough, so now I have a new music foundation called Music History Hall Foundation. And Rachel knows I've always been interested in music.
Big music lover, and no one knows more about the music history than you do, for sure. I mean, if there was like a Trivial Pursuit version,
yes,
the
if that was a
music
category,
edition,
I would do
you'd
well.
kill
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Occasionally there'll be something about jazz on there. I'm like, okay, I think I can get it. Anyways, so I've had music foundations. I have a new music foundation. I also have a radio show, which is a music history radio show called Play Something Sweet on KXFM 104.7 in Laguna Beach. It's a podcast. You can find it where you find podcasts.
Yeah.
And basically I talk about, if you want to know what was going on in one particular time in history, you look at the music and art that was created during that period. So if you want to, people study the Vietnam War, but if you listen to the music surround, you'll know what was going on in society around that time. And so I take it all the way through, the story of Muddy Waters is the quintessential American story. It's the story of the Great Migration, So there's always a way to say what was really going on during that time period. So I have a course, a music history course that 10 different California charter schools. I'm a vendor at the 10 different California charter school groups, and I also take it into public schools and teach in person the history of American music.
By the way, it's not super easy. I mean, she glosses over I'm on 10 different charter schools. That's a big lift in order to even become a preferred vendor or class.
It is. Yes.
That takes a lot of time and effort. If anyone is ever thinking, I'd like to build a course and I'd like to get it onto charter school's radar, call Patti.
Right.
She's been through this.
I'm a little tenacious,
just a little,
which is how I met Rachel too.
Uh-huh.
I just put it out there. So I also think putting it into the universe, for my new foundation, I just had the musical director of Preservation Hall in New Orleans come out, and he performed for about 150 people in Laguna Beach at an event, and then it took him to Top of the World Elementary School, and he performed for 400 kids. But this is something that I put into the universe 8 years ago, because I go to New Orleans every year.
She goes every year.
I go for Jazz
I think
Fest.
I've known Patti almost 10 years.
Yes, I think it's been about a decade, yeah. And so about every year I would go to Preservation Hall and I would say, you got to come out and, educate kids or whatever. And so this year I got an email saying, we want to come.
Yes.
And so I'm like,
that.
oh, no, okay. So now I got the event planned and got, worked with got the funding for the school to have them come. And none of that's real easy either. But I feel like the universe it was the right time, and the universe answered my question. I asked him 8 years before.
So time is more of a feeling for the universe.
Yes. But I feel like it's
happened.
important to keep, having your own passion projects going on. At least that's important for me, and it's something that I've been
and you've
continually
not
doing.
only have they been passion projects that you've been able to build, but they're also doing something to educate. Something to help the community, right? You're giving back too.
Yeah, at this point, I am. I think the education is very important because it's really cultural history. It's teaching the history of music. It's stuff that's not normally taught in schools, and the kids love it. They go in literally even in high school. Not knowing who anybody is really, maybe they've heard of the Beatles or Elvis, but it's not that common, to have a lot of knowledge about, unless your parents were really into it or something, to have a lot of knowledge about music history. But it's cultural history. It's really, the cultural history of the United States.
Yeah, I love it.
So new projects. I do have a couple of new projects going on. When I'm working on a children's book about the history of American music, it's the story of American music. And
Children, like which age?
this is going to be so my course is for 7th through 12th grade. This is going to be like 3rd through 6th, like 4th, 5th, and 6th grade.
Okay, so easy-ish reading, but chapter book?
Chapter book. They call it middle grade.
All right.
It's be after a picture book.
All right.
Which
So my son's right in that sweet spot. So
yeah,
okay, all right.
Yeah, and it's going to be nonfiction, but in story driven, like a little more story driven. That's what they're wanting. So that's what I'm working on. And then I have another project that is a documentary project, which is something I've always wanted to work on, is documentary films, because I'm a big history person. And so the documentary I'm working on, and this was a photographer person who listened to my radio show and reached out to me with this gorgeous book of photographs from the 1960s and the music scene that was out here in California.
Okay.
So this is called the West Coast Roots of Woodstock, because Woodstock gets all of the, fame, but really the whole scene was out here, and there were multiple festivals leading up to Woodstock. And he has all of these great photographs of all of these, the people, not he has got some of the bands, but the actual people that were there at all these festivals.
That's cool.
It's very cool. The photos are amazing. Everyone who sees this book is like dying. So this weekend I'm doing this with him, interviewing him.
Okay.
About his photographs and what he remembers, and we're going to turn that into this is like the first steps towards building into a documentary film about that period.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So
I'm very excited about that. Oh my God. By the time this comes out in like a couple weeks from now, my God, or
who knows?
Who knows what you're going to be on this next. Fantastic.
But there will be projects after these projects fold. Like I'm always going to have some project.
Yeah.
Because it keeps me engaged in the world. It keeps me feeling creative and in touch with myself.
Yeah.
Well,
and you inspire others all the time with that. You even inspired me. So
I did?
You did. I don't even think I told her. But when I started the Young Entrepreneur Syndicate with Jim Riley and Rod Kuntz, it was originally just a mentoring and coaching program for adults. And then it was like, oh, maybe we need a curriculum. Maybe we need to teach this in high schools. Who do I know who's written a curriculum before? Can this be done? Well, if Patti can do it, I bet I could figure it out.
You can.
Okay. I never knew anybody who did that before. So, I think that, hopefully like there are other people who are thinking, oh, well, entrepreneurship hasn't been taught. Music hasn't been taught. Like what else needs to be taught? I know there's other things out there. I'm not thinking of them right now, but you can do it.
And reaching the kids is important. Like getting, they may not realize, especially young women, may not realize they can be entrepreneurs. They may not realize they can be the leaders. Like we have to instill it in everybody.
Yeah.
Boys and girls, but instill it in everybody young at the earliest age, so they have the idea. Oh, I could do that.
Yep. Absolutely. How can people get in touch with you?
Oh, to get in touch with me,
yes,
you can email me if you would like at Patti with an I at musichistoryhall.org. I guess that would be the best way to reach me if you have an idea for something that it would interest me, music history related, or just want to reach out and connect.
Yeah, and I'll put it all in the description in the video too. So, and then if you really want, people can try to join us for our lunches.
Yes,
maybe.
Yes. It's Rachel and I and our friend Jackie Moe who and it really has been what I've really enjoyed about our lunches and our relationship is it's always inspiring. Like we're like cheerlead each other on our projects, because Rachel of course is always doing amazing things, and so is Jackie, and and we just support each other, and I think that it's been really wonderful, and I really value your friendship. So.
Me too. Me too. And I really want us to go cheer Jackie on at one of her marathons.
Yes, we plan to go watch our friend.
Jackie, we're going to come cheer you on.
Because that's very impressive too. Like she's out there doing her thing, like whatever your thing is, you just
we're gonna champion for you.
And you can take it all the way, like whatever your idea is.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by this episode of the Brunch Club. I will see you soon. Cheers.
Thanks for stopping by the Brunch Club. It's been our pleasure to share this time with you. We look forward to bringing you more sparkling inspiration next weekend. If you have feedback, topics, or want to nominate someone to be a guest on the show, please reach out to us at rachel@sundaybrunchagency.com. Cheers!